Hi, and welcome to Deep Dive with Jamie Stein, where we take a deep dive look at all things reality TV, pop culture, and the world at large. I'm an intuitive and an empath, which means I pick up on the thoughts, feelings, and energy percolating in other people and the world around me. I believe there is meaning waiting to be found at every turn if you're willing to see it. So join me as we dismantle everything from trash TV to high spiritual concepts and learn more about ourselves, each other, and how we're all connected. Hey everyone, and welcome back to this emergency episode of Deep Dive with Jamie Stein. It's funny because I was actually going to record today. I'm in the middle of an episode that I started last week where I was exploring the conflict between Rob Roush and Candace Dillard-Bassett on Traders last month. And I had recorded the first half and I was going to record the second half today, Tuesday, March 31st. But then, as I'm sure you all know, the official news broke that West and Amanda released their joint statement and confirmed that they are, in fact, in a secret relationship. And there you have it, guys. How many years later? What year was Scandival? I don't know. 3 years later, we have our next Scandival. And actually, I think this is like pretty close to the actual month, right? Wasn't it in March? Wasn't it in spring? Spring is in the air. Anyways, heard immediately from a number of you wanting an intuitive read on the situation. So, of course, I'm going to table Rob and Candace for a moment and come back to that a little bit later. And yeah, just do a quick and dirty drop in to Amanda towards West. Obviously, we don't have any details yet. I know very little information about this. So obviously this isn't going to be like a true deep dive. And I imagine this is something we're all going to be unpacking for months to come. But like I said, as a little amuse-bouche, as they like to say in the culinary world, as a little appetizer, a little taste of perhaps what's to come, I'm just going to drop into Amanda, see what I feel at this current juncture, based on my very limited information of what's going on. And we can maybe start to identify some themes and threads that want to be tracked through this, start decoding the drama from the outset, and then we can continue to refine the deeper meaning as more information reveals itself and we get to watch the show and the reunion and hear what people have to say and all that. It's funny. It's like I never know what's going to come through as I'm sitting here. As I'm sitting here before I even get to Amanda, because she feels, she's like the plot twist in a lot of ways in all of this. She's like the Raquel Rachel, the surprise. I don't want to call her a villainess. She's a human being on her journey like the rest of us. But, you guys get what I'm saying. She's the plot twist in all of this, the unexpected femme fatale. So I'm going to drop into her towards West. But, I just, for a moment, I want to really bring in Sierra. Because what I can feel, and I know this is stating the obvious, but it's not about the words. It's about the feeling. I want to say, I can really feel how hurtful this is, how rejected she must feel, not just by Wes, but by Amanda too, that this is a woman who already had a relationship to feeling cast aside, to feeling used, to not being chosen. And I can just really feel how deeply this must be hitting a core wound in her. A core belief in her about her worthiness of love and her capacity to trust others and stories she might tell herself about how it's not safe to let her guard down. This is one of those dark night of the soul moments where, and we all have them, where it feels like our worst fears, our worst suspicions about life and our relationship to it are coming true. And those are very vulnerable moments. Those are very painful moments. Like I said, we all go through them. And I always feel like it's our job in those moments not to bypass the heartbreak, the heartache, the devastation, the grief, the quote unquote reality that our worst fears are coming true. You don't bypass it, but just be willing to witness it. The willing to witness it and say, here it is. Here is my deepest story, the deepest fear I have for myself, about myself, and my relationship to life. It is playing out in front of me. It is rising to the surface to be dealt with. And how can I choose to work with this in a new way? So to say yes to the feelings that are here, but to not use those feelings to spin out into an old story about, see, this is why I can't trust anyone, or see, this is why it's never going to work out for me. It's an opportunity to acknowledge the story that's perhaps playing at the heart of your psyche. And my hope for Sierra is that she can feel the public support that's available to her, the way that this is being witnessed, the way that this is being carried by the collective, even if it is somewhat parasocial, but regardless, it's still support. And that she can galvanize this energy to walk with this story in a new way, to be in relationship with these core feelings in a new way, and to make new choices that allow her to write a new story for herself. Okay. So having said that, like I said, quick and dirty, I'm just going to drop in. I'm just going to drop into Amanda towards West, very generally, and just identify a few threads and see what I see, hear what I hear, feel what I feel, and then we'll go from there. All right, you guys. So this is Amanda Batula towards West Wilson and this secret relationship with West Wilson. There's two primary threads that come through at once. Ooh, pretty strong. Yeah. And I want to say it's interesting. They kind of compete with each other in my body. So I feel these two strong threads and they're both vying for my attention. And then I kind of get frozen. So I just say that because in the place where I trust that we're opening up the field of Amanda Batula, like she feels a little overwhelmed to me in all of this. It feels like there's competing voices and feelings, and she gets stuck. She gets overwhelmed. She gets stuck. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I could start taking this to a really deep reading. I'm not going to do that. I'm making a choice not to do that. Let me stay with these threads for a second. So the first thread that I really felt was, oh God, it's so interesting. It's like, I hear the words, I'm going to say them in a moment, but like, again, there's something in my body that's just like, for Amanda, I don't want to even say the words. I don't want to say the words out loud. Like, as Amanda, I don't want to get fully clear on what's going on with me. I don't want to get fully clear on all the feelings. I don't want to get fully clear on all the threads. And then what I'm hearing is I don't want to have to take responsibility for myself. I don't want to take full responsibility for myself and for my life and for my choices. It's kind of like this feeling of like, I don't want to stand on my own 2 feet. I don't want to know the deeper truth. So I'll just say this, like the words that I was hearing for the first thread were soft landing. Like that's what I heard in relationship to West. Soft fucking landing, meaning like he feels safe. Like this relationship feels safe. It feels comfortable. It feels familiar. And like if I follow this for a moment, it's like, if I know that I'm on the outs with Kyle and this marriage is going nowhere and I'm leaving, like, yeah, there's something in me that's definitely scared, and West feels like a soft landing. Ooh, but it's so interesting because like when I say that, I'm naming fear, but actually the energy behind it doesn't feel like fear. The energy feels intense. It's like soft fucking landing. So this actually leads to the second thread that I was feeling. But I want to stay with the soft landing thread for a second, just so I don't lose my thought. But yeah, it's this feeling like I want to leapfrog from one relationship to the next. I literally, like, in the same way that I just heard this voice in Amanda that's like, I don't want to take responsibility for like my different feelings, my different threads of truth. I don't want to stand on my own 2 feet. I don't want to be alone. I do not want to be alone. And I don't want to like break up with Kyle and be on my own. And then that's the thing. Like it's so funny because when I say that, I feel the sadness coming through, but I also feel like there is some vicious rage here. It is like, I will not, like, I don't want to be on my fucking own. So the impulse to not be on her own, to go from one relationship to the next, to have a soft landing, it feels like it's masking and buffering a very deep level of rage in Amanda. You know, this isn't totally surprising. Amanda presents very kind of, she can be meek and mild, right? Historically. But we also saw she would have moments of deep rage where she's like breaking shit. And even this season, we've seen her in her rage, in the way that she's dressing down Kyle, the way that she's constantly insulting him, laughing at him. I mean, to be honest, it's been interesting to watch because on the one hand, I've sort of loved the energy for her because she feels more alive than ever. Like I've felt more of Amanda's life force this season than I've ever felt. And her face literally looks more animated to me. Like I feel like there's more color in her cheeks. So on some levels, it's been really dynamic and engaging. And I'm like, oh yeah, like Amanda's here. She's like ready to play. She's ready to throw down. Like Amanda's got something to say. And I've also been a little turned off from it because it's felt cruel. You know, it's felt like there's a way to own your rage cleanly, clearly, and directly, and in an empowered way that's not about cutting someone down. And I get it. She's pissed at Kyle, and I get that Kyle has treated her really badly. But, you know, again, it doesn't serve her, anyone, to just be mean to him and to laugh at him and to make jokes at his expense. But I'm bringing this up because there's been a cruelty to her this season. And that's what I'm feeling here is just, there's a level, what I'm saying is it makes sense that Amanda has had a world of rage inside of her that she has not been directly accessing. And so we see bursts of it, you know, when she loses her cool and breaks shit on the floor, or bursts of it when she's passive aggressively cruel towards Kyle. But what I'm feeling right now is like the source rage. And obviously there's been something in her pulling back from owning all this heat and this rage. And that's the part of her that I think that's part of her that likes to stay enmeshed in relationships. Cause that's the other thing. She and Kyle, you know, I've said this, but I think they have codependency issues. I've always felt that there's something very codependent about their relationship. Kyle has his own relationship to murky boundaries, workaholic, constant work, bringing friends and family into lover boy. I've always felt this with Kyle. It's a similar thing where he doesn't want to have clean, clear boundaries in his life. And with actually, I felt the same thing for Kyle, that it masks this deeper rage in him. And I'm feeling now the same thing with Amanda. It's like, I don't want to stand on my own 2 feet. This is how I kind of keep my rage in check. So coming back to West, there is a feeling here of, I'm going from one relationship to the next. This feels like a soft landing. And in particular, it being Wes. It's not just going to another relationship. There's something to me as an Amanda that feels comfortable about the fact that he's friends and family. Like, it's messy, but it's also murky. Like, again, the energetic murkiness of this feels comfortable to me. I like the blurred lines. I feel safe here. And what's coming to me now is like, you know, Kyle has talked about like Amanda is someone who will have like a literal mess in the apartment. Like, I think he even referred to her as like, it's almost like a hoarder situation. You know, so it's like, that's the quality of this as Amanda. It's like, again, things are not going to be neat and tidy. Things are not going to be clean. There's not going to be strong energetic boundaries. I'm not going to end things in a clean way. West is a soft landing. And not only is he a soft landing in terms of being another relationship, he's an extra soft landing because I get to hang out in this energetic murkiness where it's a little incestuous. It's friends and it's family. And that blurriness, those blurred lines feel fucking comfortable to me. It feels like a warm cocoon where I never have to deal with my deeper energetic truth. Oof, I'm feeling that in my body when I say it. So yes to one relationship to the next. And a double yes to next relationship with someone who's friends and family that makes the boundaries even more blurred and murkier. So this leads me to the second thread. And you hear it, I'm already laughing. It's and this is part of the heat and the intensity. It's like, I like how dirty this feels. Because it does. It feels a little incestuous. It's like metaphorically incestuous. And it's naughty. And it's, yeah. Fuck you, Kyle. It feels like a fuck you to Kyle. It feels like a fuck you to the world. It feels like a fuck you to mom. It feels like a fuck you to dad. It feels like a fuck you to fucking, I am doing what I want for fucking me. It's my turn. You know what this reminds me of? It's like, because I felt this so strongly. You know, people were so upset with Kyle when he got upset about Amanda jumping into the pool in her underwear and like getting the towel from Ben. And I get it. Like, I'm not defending Kyle. It was total, like the way he dealt with it was emotionally immature and he was a total hypocrite. But I got why he was triggered, because for me, it felt so clear that there was a fuck you towards Kyle from Amanda there. Like, she wasn't just like having fun, because this has been a point of contention between them. Kyle wanting to have more fun, Kyle wanting her to be in the mix, right? And I did. It felt like a fuck you to Kyle. Like, I'm fucking jumping in this pool in my underwear and Ben's going to wrap me in a towel and I'm doing this without you. Fuck you, Kyle. I'm so tired of being good. So here's the rage. And so, yeah, coming back to West, it's like, I keep hearing that Fiona Apple song, Mistake, for any Fiona Apple fans. But the song goes, I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to do it on purpose. And then the lines go, do I want to do right? Of course. But do I really want to feel I'm forced to answer to you? Hell no. I have quite a taste for a well-made mistake. And what I find is mine. That's what this feels like. I just want to make a mistake. I want to be reckless. I want to do something for me. That's what I'm hearing. I want to do it for me. Everyone else gets to. So yeah, it feels kind of naughty. And it feels dark. And it feels sinful. And also I want to say, like, not just the relationship itself, but West is a naughty guy, you know, because Amanda knows that. We all know that. We all know, West is not, he's got like a good guy mask on, and we all know there's darker layers there. And I feel like as Amanda, at least on the unconscious levels, like, I'm clocking it. I'm clocking it as Amanda. I'm doing something naughty with a naughty guy. And there's heat there. And it's almost like this feeling like, I don't know, to me, like, as I sit here, it's like the sex is really fucking hot because of how naughty this is. Yeah, so it's like, if I just kind of circle back around, bigger picture, it's safe, it's comfortable, it's murky, it's naughty, it's dirty, it's dangerous. It's a vehicle. It's both a vehicle for my fuck you, but also a buffer against my deeper fuck you, if that makes sense. It's like a vehicle for my rage without having to be in direct contact with my rage. And I'm just very aware, like Amanda's never really had an opportunity to know herself fully, right? Because she met Kyle when she was so young and she got into this relationship when she was so young. And then not only did she get into the relationship, but then she was involved with Loverboy. And then not only was she involved with Loverboy, she was involved with Summer House. Again, this is someone who has kind of a relationship to numbing out through messiness, possibly through weed use, through codependent relationship. I just feel like Amanda is someone who has never felt safe to fully know herself as a powerful, strong-willed, assertive, clear diva. And this is me going back, for those of you who are new here, I did a whole episode on Amanda last year with Jess Rothschild. And a lot of what came through is there's an inner diva in her. She's not just this meek little girl. There's a diva in Amanda who knows what the fuck she wants and what the fuck she's doing. And I feel like she's never felt allowed to claim that. And so kind of like Rachel, it's interesting. I just keep going back to Rachel from Scandival. Like, it's like, she was this pageant girl, and then she was like in this really dark, toxic, abusive relationship with James for much of her 20s. And she was in the world of the show for much of her 20s. And it's like, she loses James. She loses the pageant world. And it's like, and Rachel feels apt here because, again, Rachel's another one who I've sensed as like a really strong, powerful relationship to the powerful dark feminine, but someone who's been hiding out as a good girl. Like that there was something in her that felt like I'm not allowed to access the full power of my inner dark feminine. And it feels similar for Amanda. I'm not allowed to access the full power of my inner diva. And instead I have to be a good girl. And it just feels like, so with Rachel, suddenly she's stripped of these things and she's stripped of like so many aspects of her identity that she hid behind. And then it's like, all right, here's this guy, let me go towards this affair to be a vehicle for these darker impulses. Let me shapeshift a little bit. And it just feels like a similar thing with Amanda. Like there's something strong and powerful in her that wants to come through, but she's scared to let it through. She doesn't know how to let it through. So then it just sort of comes through this like new, somewhat, we could say twisted relationship. And then I guess the last thing I'll just do here is I will drop into Amanda towards Sierra, just because, again, Sierra is kind of the missing piece in all this. I mean, my first impulse is kind of like out of sight, out of mind. Like, I don't really want to take you in. I won't take this in. I will not take you in all the way. And then it's weird. It's like I feel angry. It's like I don't want to have to take you in. I don't want to have to take responsibility. Well, again, what the voice says for you and your feelings. But again, then when I hear on a deeper level is for myself. I don't want to have to take responsibility for myself. I feel like I've sacrificed for others. I've made choices for others. I want what's fucking mine. So it does sort of feel like there's just this kind of like angry, almost what I want to call like selfish streak in the place where Amanda feels like she's sacrificed for others. And then I'm hearing collateral damage, like towards Sierra. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I mean, it's so hard to imagine Amanda consciously embodying this because we've never seen the side of her on the show. But what I'm feeling, at least on an unconscious level, is a real flippancy. I don't want to know it. I don't want to see it. Collateral damage. Oh, well. Like, go bring this to someone else. This is my turn. Yeah, it's like sort of like, again, if I trust this, like there's a voice in her that could play this off. Like, what's the big fucking deal? You had your chance. You had your chance. You passed it on by. You had your chance with Wes. You didn't want it. He made it clear he was open. You said no. What's the big fucking deal? There's just kind of if I trust this, it's like a posture of flippancy. I'm not going to take you in all the way. What's the big deal? And yeah. So, and the way this is coming to me, it's like I don't know that she would ever like say this out loud because the optics of it are so bad, and I don't think it's her deepest truth. So that's the thing about the unconscious. There's always layers to consciousness, right? So it's almost like she might be saying one thing at the reunion or to the public about, I don't know what her party line would be with this. But it's almost like underneath that, what would initially be unspoken is there's a part of her that doesn't fucking care. There's a part of her that's like, oh, well, collateral damage. You had your shot. I don't want to fucking hear about it. I don't want to know about it. It's my turn. But that even that is kind of like a defense to the deeper truth of like, oh, wait, what if I really took Sierra in? Yeah, and then I mean, I just coaxed Amanda to take her in on a deeper level. I'm not going to hang out too deeply in this, but the rage comes. And again, this is what I'm talking about. The rage comes up. And like kind of what the rage is saying, it's not fucking fair. Why should I have to take you in? Why should I have to take responsibility for you? Why should I have to put my desires and impulses aside for you? When is it my fucking turn? I'm so sick of babying other people. I want what I fucking want. When is it my turn? I'm tired of holding myself down for others. Yeah, this is like fiery Medusa energy. All right, you guys. I'm gonna stop it there because this was a lot. I guess I would just say this: if I were to start to track some themes in this drama, you know, I think this is what happens when you have an inner diva, an inner Medusa who's like dying to get out. You know, you push her down for the sake of being good, and it comes out in other ways. And I think this is really the story in this case of a young woman who refuses to be energetically clear with herself, to take responsibility for her deeper truth, her deeper feelings, her deeper emotions, and the price that she pays when she refuses to do so. Someone who refuses to stand on her own 2 feet and to be energetically alone. And it's interesting because, again, I feel the same thing for Kyle, and I'm suddenly hearing, I think West has his own relationship to this too. And by the way, Sandoval has his own. We explored these very themes in my original Sandoval episode way back when, of like what it means to be like kind of like a dark, powerful person who has to stand on their own 2 feet and claim their truth for themselves, regardless of how other people respond. The dark diva heart that beats really loudly and wants to have her say whether you're willing to listen or not. The drama and the damage that can occur when you have an inner diva, an inner heat, and an inner fire, an inner dragon that you are not letting through. That dragon will still be heard. That diva will still be heard. It reminds me of Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction when she says, I won't be ignored, Dan. Fatal Attraction. Fatal Attraction. Deny the inner diva, she's coming out in other ways. And then you have Fatal Attraction. And in terms of questions that you might want to be contemplating with regards to how this all might relate to you, maybe just letting yourself think about, where are you afraid to be clear in your thoughts, feelings, and actions? Where are you afraid to know and to take responsibility for your deepest truth? Where are you afraid to stand 10 toes down on what you really feel and take fucking responsibility for your own inner experience? And what price might you be paying for ignoring that deeper calling and stirring of your powerful heart? All right, you guys, that's it for now. More will be revealed. As always, you know, let me know how you feel. Let me know if your own hits come up. Like I said, I've recorded at least half of that Rob Candace episode. So, oh my God, there's so much going on in the world of reality TV right now. So I will promise you this: no matter what, you're going to get the Rob half. It is my intention to finish the Candace half. But there is so much going on right now. So I guess I'm just going to see how this all unfolds. But More to come very soon. As always, find me on Instagram, Jamie Stein, JAMIESTEIN. And as a reminder, you guys, there's exclusive content there. I know not everyone's on it, but you can also search for it on the web. And that is it for now, you guys. We're deep in it once again. See you on the flip side. Bye.